% of Americans have this in their home. No, it's not a gun. I would guess pretty much all of you have this in your home as well. Maybe some of you even have 2 of them. No, it's not cheap beer or back bacon. What I'm going to talk about today is the evolution of an icon which is derived from Chinese fish sauce. Our story starts back in the 1700s. The British were sailing around Asia, raping and pillaging Queen and country. On the way back, they decided to stop for some takeout in southeast China. The sailors thought the dim sum was a little dry, but they immediately fell in love with this wonderful anchovy-based fish sauce. They thought they would take it back, and they were asking, what is this called? And the Chinese locals said, I'm not Chinese! The Chinese locals said, ketchup. The sailors took this ketchup back to England to wow the Queen and country, and they were. And the British spent the next 50 years trying to make this concoction in Britain. They didn't have anchovies, so they tried mushrooms, they tried walnuts, and they still could not get that taste. It was elusive, like the Stanley Cup for the Vancouver Canucks, or the truth for Donald Trump. Then in 1869, a young man came upon the scene by the name of Howard Hines. Thank you. Howard, who was living in America, took one of those newfangled, unknown American vegetables called a tomato, which a lot of the other world didn't know of because it was native to America. Actually, a lot of people thought the tomato was poisonous for the longest time. He took this tomato and he used it to ferment this sauce. He worked on this for a while, and then he did something that was very American, because this sauce did not last long. It needed to be preserved. So, being an American, what did he do? He added sugar. This made it sweeter. This also gave it a longer shelf life, and the modern day icon and the Heinz Empire was born. But our story does not stop there. One thing, Mr. Heinz did a number of things. One thing he did was he spelt it ketchup. Until that time, it had been spelled C-A-T-S-U-P. But in order to differentiate his brand, he spelled it like this. It's a terrible thing. How many families have been ruined through arguments of which is the proper spelling? I know I didn't talk to my sister for 5 years over this issue. This, for the more aged members of our group, is the original glass bottle. Who of you remember? Obviously Garth remembers because he's old. Do you remember the glass bottle? Yes? Yes. Now, how you use a bottle of ketchup says a lot about your personality, because ketchup does not flow out like milk. it goes very slow because of the sugar. Actually, ketchup flows at about ½ an inch a second. There are some slugs that are faster than that. Now, what were some ways to get this ketchup out? Yes, there were the shakers. Who in here has the shaker person? I would think maybe Sabahat and Andy. Just the youth, exuberance of youth, not very much patience. Then there are maybe the more logical, analytical type, like myself, and perhaps Bashar. We use knives. Just stick it up there and bring it out. Then there is the proper way to do it, or what is recommended. What is recommended by Heinz is that you tip it over and you gently tap on it and it flows out nicely. But that was not the end of the evolution of ketchup. In 1960s, something important happened. The packet to bring ketchup to the diners. How many people remember going into the fast food restaurant and loading up your pockets with the ketchup, right?
Yes.
And then putting it in the glove compartment and your father yelling at you because 2 or 3 years later, they're still in there and they've broken and busted all over the glove compartment. You remember that? And then there was a sad day in 1983. It was the end of the bottle and the beginning of the plastic bottle. Have any of you used a plastic bottle?
Yes.
It just isn't the same feel. Pouring it out just doesn't give you the same satisfaction. That's why I will spend that extra money on glass. Glass does it for me. Andy, does glass do it for you?
Yes.
Good. In closing, this was a development through Ingenuity. What I ask you to do is that when you hoist your next chip with ketchup on it, or do the very Canadian thing and have your ketchup potato chips, think of all the work and the development that has gone into bringing you this wonderful Canadian flavor. Mr. Toastmaster.